You guys, it is hot right now. I'm in Imperial County, and it's 100 degrees. I got this pen here to show you how hot it is. Melting the ink. It just broke whatever container or cylinder is holding this ink, and it melted it. I mean, that's how hot it is out here. Okay, so the reason for this video is that today one of our subscribers, actually he's new to the channel, his looks like his last name is, and I'm gonna butcher his name, but just let me try. It's Yoman Ki, or Yo Mam Kai, Yomamkai, Yomamkie. And he brought to my attention that I'm wrong on one of my videos. So 3 months ago, I made a video about bounty hunters, bail enforcement officers, how to deal with them when they're on the property, what they're about, and a little bit about the rules and regulations pertaining to them. So I decided that we're going to talk about bounty hunters and entering property that you are employed to protect, or maybe contracted to protect. Now, bounty hunters go by different names. You might hear fugitive recovery agent, maybe bail agent, fugitive task force member. Somewhere in that boat, somewhere in that category of names, they will often use. The way that you know that they are a bounty hunter or bail enforcement agent is they'll drive up to you. Most of the time, they'll just show you a badge that says recovery agent or fugitive task force in their wallet, or they'll have a badge hanging from a chain from their neck, and they'll show it to you. But almost all the time that I've seen, it'll say bail enforcement recovery or fugitive recovery, something to that effect. When they introduce themselves, they'll introduce themselves as a fugitive recovery agent. Whenever you hear the word fugitive recovery, most of the time they're a bail enforcement officer or agent. Okay, if it's a police agency that approaches you, most of the time they'll identify what agency they work for. Maybe they'll say, hey, this is Oakland PD detective so-and-so, or I'm with the Los Angeles County NTF Narcotic Task Force. I have a couple of questions for you. I'm looking for this particular person. They'll identify themselves with a specific agency, but if they refer to themselves in general terms as a fugitive recovery team or something to that effect, if it's not a specific agency, then they're most likely going to be a fugitive recovery agent. Okay. Now, you might be inclined to not allow them on your property. Most private security officers are actually tricked. They think that it's it's like a local law enforcement agency that's entering their property, but it's bail enforcement officers. I love bail enforcement officers, even in law enforcement as a police officer. I love working with them because they provide a street sweeping effect. Troublemakers causing problems in my town, if I know that bail enforcement officer or agent is looking for this person, I'm gonna turn this person in. Okay, I'm not gonna make the arrest myself. I'll let this person do it, because this person will book the prisoner for me. I won't have to deal with an arrest report. I won't have to deal with processing this person. I won't have to deal with a medical clearance, all that crap. I won't have to deal with this person. Gonna take this troublemaker into custody. Okay. Now, you might be inclined not to have them on the property because, well, the client might feel a bit apprehensive having a bunch of armed recovery agents on their property. And yes, I'm saying the word armed like anti-gun, but this is the way that they think. Okay, I think it's more as an advantage. Now, if you're a brand new fugitive recovery agent, you're watching this video, I will tell you straight up that if I'm a private security guard on property, if you come off arrogant or like an asshole, I'm going to make sure that you don't find the fugitive. And that is because you treated me different. You disrespected me. I'm going to actually make sure that if I know who you're looking for, I might have to provide some type of signal. Look, bottom line is this: you're not going to get your person if you disrespect the private security officer on the property. What his comment was at first, and usually if it's if it's some type of criticism that comes off the marijuana videos, I will normally just ignore them. All the other videos, I pay attention to you guys, whatever you have to say that's negative or positive, as long as it's constructive. I've had some pretty rude, immature people make these remarks that I'm not going to even discuss in this video, but it doesn't further the channel, so I won't even respond, or I'll just block them. But he challenged what I had to say, and I went back in time at the 4-minute mark, more or less, and what I said was wrong. I couldn't believe what I said, so he brought it to my attention, and he thought that I should do a new video. I don't get offended as long as the comments are constructive, and yes, indeed, they're constructive. So the issue at large was that, or the issue was this. So I mentioned in the video that if a bounty hunter, bail enforcement officer approaches me, if I'm working a private security assignment and he approaches me in a rude manner, he tries to use his authority against me, I might just tell this person, this bail enforcement officer, where this fugitive is. I might not help out with this capture. And he said, hey, you know what? That is aiding and abetting a fugitive. You can be prosecuted for that. And I started to think a little bit about that. And he's right. So that's why I'm making this video. You don't want to aid and abet. So, and this is definitely a controversial issue here. If you're a bounty hunter and you come onto my property, this is a private security project that I'm patrolling, and you're disrespecting me, and I don't want you to find this person. If I give you misleading information, if I'm knowingly harboring a fugitive, I could be up for criminal charges. So in that case, what the bail enforcement officer would do is call the local law enforcement authorities, and some of them have very good contacts with especially management, those that are in the command staff positions, and they might pursue the aiding and abetting charge with that local law enforcement agency. If the agency is not interested, they can always go to the district attorney's office and try to seek criminal charges against the private security officer that is aiding and abetting this fugitive. Now, the controversial topic here is, if you disrespect me, I might not tell you where this person is at. Am I obligated by law to tell you if I know where this person is at? Well, put it this way. If you take steps to prevent the capture, that could be a good case against you in the court of law, especially criminal case. Okay, a bail enforcement officer is an officer of the court. Okay, we have to also respect that, and they navigate under different laws. So the Fourth Amendment, in most circumstances, does not apply to them. Same thing with the Fifth Amendment, right to incrimination, self-incrimination. It doesn't apply to a bail enforcement officer. The thing is this: when somebody posts bail, or a bail bondsman allows them to bail out, okay, and I'm probably using the wrong terminology. If I am, please correct me. You sign an agreement. You sign an agreement sometimes that you can be located through GPS. That gives private investigators and bounty hunters, bail enforcement officers, the authority to locate you through GPS without violating any federal law. You also agree for the bail enforcement officer to go into your residence any time of the night, using reasonable force methods to effect an arrest. Okay, there's a whole list of agreements that you agree to as a condition for the bail bondsman posting bail for you. Okay, and that in essence you're bypassing the Fourth Amendment, the Fifth Amendment, and remember, a bail enforcement officer is not a technically a government official, and that's why the Fourth Amendment, the right to search and seizure, and the Fifth Amendment doesn't really apply. Now, there's always some circumstance or some facts that will run contrary to what I'm saying. And right now in this short video, I won't be producing more guidance on that. Those of you who are interested in bounty hunter and knowing what it's more about, I think the course that you want to look up is a $12.99 Penal Code class, Bail Enforcement Recovery. That's a Bail Enforcement Recovery Act, I believe. Anyhow, I'm gonna delete the other video that I made just because I made a mistake. If I'm wrong, you guys, it doesn't matter what I'm talking about. Now again, the marijuana videos, I get some people, some clowns that very uneducated, very improper comments that I get on there. I'm not gonna respond. I'm not changing the content on there. But if I get something that sounds articulate, then I'm gonna respond. Hopefully our subscriber Yo Mam Kai, hopefully I'm mentioning your name right, hopefully you can repost those comments that you made. I found them very, very beneficial. I'm gonna delete that video. Okay, I don't want to mislead anybody, and I always leave a disclaimer, but there's always one person that may not understand what the disclaimer means to them or how it's applied. And my worry is that some people might take what I say as professional advice, even though I leave a bunch of disclaimers. Now, if you do that, you're on your own. But I think for the best interest of everybody, I'm going to go ahead and delete that video.